Good morning. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Deb.
I thought we'd talk today about the very first time we spoke at a diversity conference about diversity and inclusion the submarine way, and how surprised we were at the reception.
This was an interesting speech. It's important to do a little bit of a table set here. I'm not a keynote speaker, and this is not an advertisement, but it's important to the story. I'm not a keynote speaker that ever does the same speech twice. I don't have a canned speech. I don't know what that is. What's the outcome? What do the people want? What's the audience going to be like? Do a little research, have 3 or 4 key talking points, and then just deliver it through a flow of consciousness. Just kind of feed off the room, feed off the energy, and see where it goes.
And people were inspired. They were completely inspired.
They were, but they were only inspired because I wanted to do, again, something very different. And for those of us, and this group was a very heavy, been to a lot of diversity training, been to a lot of diversity speeches. So what's the different viewpoint? And Deb pointed out to me, she said, John, why don't you talk about diversity as it occurred in submarines? And I wasn't quite sure where she was going. Could you?
Yeah, diversity and inclusion on the submarine. John was on submarines for 15 years, and the one thing that he has always talked about is how inclusive submarines were. And I said, there's something about that, John. If there's diversity on submarines, and that's clear, outside of women, and there's true inclusion on submarines, then there is something there that is pulling people together. And I think there's a hunger out there for that. And in fact, we realized that there is a repeatable system. I got John to talk about it. We talked about the different components of the system. It's repeatable. It's repeatable in communities, in businesses, in houses of worship. It is something that could be used to promote inclusion in just about every environment.
Right. It works in every environment because how can you go to different submarines with again, completely different people and yet the same thing with diversity and inclusion and the same results? And that's because the system is so ingrained, it's so much part of a cultural change that it literally runs under everything else. So much so that you don't even realize that you're practicing it, if you will, once you learn it.
So people were so inspired at this conference that they
That was
followed
crazy.
us. There was a standing ovation. People followed us out to our cars, asked a lot of questions. I think people, again, have a hunger for a system that helps create inclusion. We are such a fragmented society, and this is something that would be repeatable in a lot of different communities. So we really enjoy that you joined us today and that you took the time to listen to this, and we hope you join us again. Yeah,
absolutely. And as always, as you know, sing along with us. If you want more information, you can always go to www.thesubmarineway.com. She's usually not much more buttoned up. She's feeling crazy today. Thank you so much, folks.
Thank you.